Welcome to Akron Local News. I'm George Carter. As you know, we paint positive images for our people every day. Today we're here with a young lady, Miss Destiny Moore, and Legacy. Legacy is a 5-month-old young lady, and she is here to help us understand a little bit about what's going on with her care. And her mother is going to tell us exactly why being aware of a child's behavior at a young age is so important. How are you, Destiny?
Good, and yourself?
Very good, thank you. So glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with Legacy.
My daughter was around 2 months old. She started having abnormal eye movements. She's just a baby, and she's my first child, so I thought, she's just adjusting, trying to gain control of her eyes, and I kind of dismissed it as not being concerning. But as she went on to become a little bit older, I believe around 4 months, she was still having those abnormal eye movements. So I was just like, I don't think this should still be going on. She needs to get checked out.
Okay. So you took her to Akron Children's Hospital?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm sure they probably did a series of tests to help you understand what might be an issue or not?
Yes, it started with her eye doctor. I don't feel like he really saw too much, so he was just like, I believe we should bring neurology into this as well.
Okay.
Neurology, we were having some issues figuring it out, and it ended up leading to going to the ER a few times, having some hospital admissions. She underwent tests such as having an MRI, 2 CAT scans, I believe 2 ultrasounds, a lumbar puncture, and she's had a couple EEGs.
Okay. And that
everything was coming back clear, which was leading to frustration for me as a parent, because I'm glad everything's clear and we're ruling out some of the big scary things, but I know this is abnormal. It led to genetics testing, and they were just like, if we don't see anything on her genetics testing, we're just going to kind of say, that's just something she does, and hopefully she'll grow out of it. And that frustrated me, because I'm just like, this is not normal.
You knew something was abnormal.
Yeah. Eventually I got her genetic results back, and her doctor was able to schedule me to come in the next day, and she has a disease called ELP2.
ELP2, okay. And that's an acronym for a much longer, more difficult to pronounce term. But if the audience were to look up ELP2, you would be able to find exactly what that is and what it entails. But I understand it's a it's an extraordinarily rare disorder.
Yeah, per her doctor's word, she said it's super ultra rare.
Okay.
She believes there are only 7 diagnosed cases worldwide. And I said, so this is 1 in a million? And she said, no, 1 in a billion.
A billion, absolutely, absolutely. Even less than that, because there's 8 billion people
I'm
on
like,
the
what
planet.
are the statistics? And she was like, less than 0.1.
Right. So it being that rare, were you able to find out where some of the other people that have this disorder are located around the globe?
I believe she said Turkey, and I still need to do more research to find out where maybe some of the other cases are.
Yeah, that would be I would want to know. I would want to know where every case that exists would be, and
so far I believe it's everything is probably outside of the U.S.
Okay, and let's hope that number one, let's hope it's a misdiagnosis. If it's because she certainly looks to be such a happy and such a well cared for baby that I just can't imagine anything.
She sure is. If she wasn't sleeping, she'd be smiling and giggling.
Exactly. Well, I've seen her smiling and dimples already. So she definitely doesn't miss her meals. So she's all
healthy in that department.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. I'm disturbing her rest. My booming voice is just bringing her back to life. But now the fact that they did genetic testing.
And I submitted a blood sample as well, which helped confirm like she did receive a mutation.
She has a mutation,
And
a
in her
genetic
case,
mutation.
yeah, in her case, it's pathogenic, which means it's disease.
Okay, yeah. So I still hold out hope. Now, our hope here today is to bring awareness, number one, to our audience of the importance of being an advocate for your loved one, whether it be a child, whether it be an adult, or anyone that you may know. If you see some abnormalities, if you see something, say something, as the saying goes,
Yes.
and to encourage people to look after themselves or look after those who can't look after themselves, whether it be a
My
child
mom
or an adult.
noticed some of her weird eye movements as well. But this is my first baby, and she's just like, I don't want to come to you with all these concerns, making you feel like bad or like something's wrong or anything like that. So she kind of just like held off on saying anything.
Okay.
But I'm more of, if you see something like that's not right, I prefer to know and we can get this looked at and find out what's going on. So
I agree. Yeah, knowing is better than not knowing, and most often, it's only a very rare set of circumstances that one may not want to know, something that they could know. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Now, what are some of the expectations that they say that ELP comes with? Yeah.
I don't like using this term, but they definitely said severe mental retardation and intellectual challenges.
Mm-hmm.
It can cause things like autism, cerebral palsy, mobility issues.
Okay. Well,
and
let's
being nonverbal.
Right. Well, I pray that that's not the case for her, and she does let you know when she wants something. I've noticed that with her already. So she appears to be, intellectually at her level. Again, now it's been a while since I've had a 5-month-old to care for. So, and children do advance as time goes on. I know what was smart when I was an infant and what's smart today are miles apart, because
they say like these 2020 babies and up are just
they're extraordinarily advanced. Exactly. So it's hard to tell, where development should be, because it progresses so fast, just like athletics. When I was running a 100-yard dash, we did it. I think I did it in a minute. Now they're doing it in seconds. Now they're doing it in seconds, But in all seriousness, I pray that she will be fine. And, the statistic that I always arrive at is, I think I recall hearing that Albert Einstein didn't speak until he was like 4 years old, and he ended up, coming up with the theory of relativity. So, sometimes intellect is hidden, and sometimes, without a doubt, doctors can be mistaken in their diagnosis. Let's hope that's the case with Legacy.
That is very true, which is why some people have suggested I get a second opinion.
A second opinion is most definitely worth having. Maybe a different hospital group, or not to say that there's Akron Children's Hospital is a first-class medical facility. However, different people can see different things, and have a different intellectual approach at addressing something. So I would highly recommend a second opinion, or maybe even a third opinion, and again, as much research as possible to determine where these other 6 people on the planet are that have exhibited these symptoms and have been diagnosed with this, and find out what you all have in common, perhaps.
That's interesting.
Who knows? You might find a relative, especially since it's genetic by nature, and now the human genome has, we've come to understand so much about it.
And I'm not even sure how ELP2 differs between the other ones. There's it goes from 1 to 6, I think.
I see. I see. So I'm sure that part of that could be pathogenic too, because I think that alters how, it.
Like the coding in the DNA,
Exactly.
basically.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, that you have your work cut out for you as far as doing more research. That's what I would highly recommend. And again, if there's anyone in our audience that may know or have an understanding of genetic disorders, they could maybe point her in the right direction to help solve some of the issues that you're having as far as finding out how to better care for your daughter. It would be greatly appreciated. You can reach us at akronhiphop.com, and we would be greatly appreciative to being able to help young Legacy in her trek through life. And
yes, I'm definitely thankful to any and all that are able to help, even just prayers.
Absolutely. Prayer is something we all can do. And both of you most definitely have my prayers.
Thank you so much.
She is such a lovely, well-behaved young lady that I just hope the best for her.
God has assigned us a big task.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When we were placed here, we were assigned with a big task. And when a bundle of love like this comes into the world, it's even more specific, so we will hope and pray for the best. And so now, if someone were to have some information for you, how could they go about contacting you to share the information they might have?
On TikTok, my @ is Moordes, which is MOORDES.
Okay.
My telephone number is 234-788-6159.
Great. So hopefully there will be someone in our audience that will be able to point you in the right direction, maybe offer some specialist information for someone that may know a little bit about genetics or neurology or anything that could assist in her development. So we look forward to her development being A1, and when she wakes up, she is just a bundle of joy. It's hard to think that the doctor would think that there's anything wrong with that beautiful young lady. So audience, thank you once again for having us in your sights, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
AkronHipHop.com, the Reporter Newspaperonline.com. As you can see, it's lovely out here. And like I always say about this time this year, we outside with it, right? You know what I mean? And what I mean by we outside, that means we and the whole Akron Hip Hop team is going to be in your neck of the woods, your environment, your ecosystem, trying to bring awareness to what you guys got going on in your community. You know how we do it. Give us a call at area code 330-937-2632, and we can put your face in the place. Look, it's not just for people who's doing stuff in the community as far as organizations. It's for rappers. It's for people who's doing block parties. It's for anything that you're doing that I will be happy to promote. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got to be too crazy, but it ain't got to be too positive. You know what I mean? Hell, you could be having a detail shop. You and your homies done put your dimes, quarters together, and I do mean dimes and quarters, okay? And y'all trying to flip that game into the detail shop game. We want to come out and promote that thing. Y'all going from one thing to another, and we want to put your face in the place with that. It could be you just starting your own, get this, babysitting thing. We call that thing daycare. I don't care if you're doing it out of your mama's backyard. If you're helping out the community, you want us to see it, guess what? Give us a call. You know the number again, 330-937-2632. We outside with it, y'all. Holla back.
This has been a podcast from the Mecca Media Social Media Network.